What I want to go over this time is some changes that I made in the drums and a new guitar part and maybe two new guitar parts. So there's one thing about this song that I've always felt in the original, that it's laid back. The drums never kind of drop into any kind of beat that pushes the not the tempo, because the tempo is the tempo, but just the energy of it. It just doesn't pick up the feel, the pace. So instead of doing eighth notes on the hi-hat, so basically previously I had something along the lines of this. Let's just listen to the drum track. I'm decided to go with 16th notes. Now you can also see that I've adjusted the velocities, so not all of the hi-hats have the same velocity or volume, or however you really want to think about it. I've also put in some 32nd note rolls, some 64th note rolls, and I'll just kind of leave that up here. I put in an open hi-hat. Let's listen to just this 2 measures. So this is something that I kind of like to do. It's a we can call it a syncopated stop or something like that. And the reason that I have a hi-hat here is that if I don't do that, this open hi-hat will stay open and ring, which may not sound that bad actually. Let's see. No, I like it to kind of be tight. Okay, so again, basically the drum pattern will be a 2-measure pattern, except I have some drum fills that I'll show you as well. So let me open this up so I can get more real estate in the MIDI editor. So basically, as soon as the chorus comes in, I start with the 16th note hi-hats with some 32nd notes, 64th notes, some more 32nds, and my syncopated stop. Okay, and I could play that over and over and over again. That's fine. However, I wanted to, there's at the end, or on the 4th measure of each cycle, there are some some accents in the vocal that I wanted to reinforce by using some cymbals. And I'm still going to go back and change all these sounds. Right now I just want to have something in there. Every time you hit a cymbal, usually a crash cymbal or something of that nature, you're going to have a kick drum underneath it. That's just kind of a drumming thing. And then I decided to put in kind of a drum fill. So these are high tom, mid tom, and low tom. I have the hi-hat kind of still going there. If anything, it'd be kind of like closing with your foot. All right, so kind of like. All right, and then it goes back in because it repeats that part, or essentially the whole chorus section. And I just duplicated that. When it goes through this accented part twice, I didn't want to do the same fill twice. It's basically the same fill, but instead of these 30 seconds, I just hit one 16th note hit. And I end that and let it go back down into the quieter dynamic section. I do end on beat 1 with a kick and a cymbal. I've been walking through a world gone blind. All right, and that goes to that same kind of quieter section where the the snare drums are spread out more. They're only on beat 4. And then I kind of come back to this again. I actually haven't gotten there yet, but that's the basic idea that I'm going to get to, that whenever it goes to the chorus, I'm going to be playing 16th notes instead of eighths. Here's an example. So I didn't get to it yet, but see how much slower it feels? Again, it's not any faster. It just feels the energy. Compared to... And again, I'll be changing the drum sounds and separating the drums, so we'll be able to really hear that hi-hat clearly. We'll pan it off to the side a bit. Everything right now is dead center in mono. So, okay, so that's the drums basically. Then what I decided to do was to also try and build some energy by bringing in an additional instrument layer in the chorus. And I decided to do kind of a guitar track. I chose the Dirty 56 Strat guitar patch preset. I'll get to the delay that I put on in a second, but the part sounds like this. Let's look at it. So we have E playing for a quarter note, and I have these overlapping purposely just to get kind of some sustain out of the notes. And then on the 4th 16th note of the first beat, I draw in a B, kind of, and it's just picking through. So it's like do do do, and then I strum through this. Now you can't see it perfectly right now, but if I change my grid to 30 seconds, you can see actually these are 64ths that I have drawn in kind of a strum. So these are all kind of getting in there. This might be hard to see or exactly count, but like on beat 3 of measure 14, if you kind of count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this starts on the 9th, 10th, 11th, 64th note of beat 3 of measure 14. And the part, again, I'll just show it in 16ths. It's a little bit easier to see. And then pick down. Slightly different chord at the end of it. This first part is the same exact thing, but then I go E, B, D to kind of just change it up. Kind of darkens it a little bit. All right, so this is kind of difficult. I had to come up with a way for it to repeat, but not lose the sustain. So this note is drawn in to go over past measure 18, but really just so that these notes sustain into until the pattern starts again. All right, so if we zoom out a little bit and listen to 4 measures of this, I do change it again here because it repeats itself. Okay, let's listen to that in context.
Your ocean eyes over. You really know how to make me cry when you give me those ocean eyes. I'm scared. I'll never fall, never quite decide. Falling into your ocean eyes. Those
having these long still, they kind of sustain out into the drop back down into the quieter section of the song. Now, I inserted a delay. This delay is not available in Pro Tools First, but you could use really any delay, and the mod delay 3 is available. And I synced it, so it's about 207 milliseconds, but it's a quarter note sync. Fair amount of feedback, mix not so high.
Your ocean.
Let's listen to what that sounds like. Okay, so I could probably make this pretty easily with the delay, since you don't have it, if you don't have it. So we'll take this one and we'll sync it to quarter notes. That's weird because the wet is 100%. This kind of delay, you can't have the wet 100%. Doesn't sound quite the same. I could keep playing with that. Oh, 830. What the? No, it's about 203. A little bit more feedback. Yeah, that's good enough, kind of, for now. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone at this point. As you can see, like, I actually have this part duplicated and somewhat different, slightly different effects with another delay. What's going on there? I'm not gonna get into that right now. I just wanted to introduce the idea of using 16th notes in the drums, the drum fills that I put in, the guitar part. Let's see what else. I did change up a bass part a little bit by, especially in that syncopated section, I wanted to have the bass do something slightly different. So boo de boo de boo. And that these 16th notes kind of mimic the syncopation in that drum part where I hit the open hi-hat. It also is the same rhythm as the guitar pick. Do de go de go. So there's some accentuation there. All right, so drums, guitar part, slight little bass change there. I did duplicate the bass and put an additional bass tone in there, but I'll kind of get to that with the details.